we will have the theme also on the same line. So when I was having the theme, of course, I don't believe much on a resolution either. But when it comes to things, so I said, okay, let me have a topic which talks about a resolution. And today and yesterday, when I was going through the uh, I can say resolution facts and figures, and I found that's one of the topmost things which people do it. So when I'm assuming you must have also seen so many jokes coming floating around and all the stuff that okay, first 5 days if you are regular to the gym, don't go to the gym because people have a resolution after 60 days they will become all right or something, because first 5 days is always a josh to continue the resolution and make sure that we continue. So, going ahead with the what for fun and fact says that about resolution, of course, my thought and process is going to give my experience, my own thoughts, and I'm happy to have you. If you want some more time, continuously motivation to make sure that you do the resolution part of it. So that's another things, as I was telling, a lot of time it says that okay, people do resolution, but people don't actually continue to do that. So that's another fact and figures I found it out. People start losing motivation, or it is maybe too much of busy. They says my shift in goals and priorities, or maybe the other reason. So the top part was losing motivation, and which is a very fact sometimes that somebody is not able to do the motivation enough. How we can actually continue to do it? So I'll tell you my own. Just before this, I had a meeting with the customers, and I was going with my colleague to the hotel, and I was coming back. So she was explaining me that nowadays you have a lot many in your WhatsApp status talking about weight loss or something like that. I said yes, because of course that was not my resolution either, but yes, last 3 months I said let me start losing weight. The reason is same thing, because I crossed 50 this year and I got started having a knee pain. So till now you always think I wanted to lose weight, I don't have any problem. You go for a regular checkup every year. No BP, sugar, no nothing is happening, no medication you are taking. So why to worry and lose weight? And of course I'm quite higher side on obese. So they says okay, but when the knee pain started, you start feeling in your own way that yes, it's a time for me to lose weight. So what I was trying to tell her the same thing. It's a motivation. So I said even I don't need to do it, but I still continue to have a health coach with me. So even though you pay for it, but yes, the reason I said it because that made me to do that. I write everyday journal. So in that, I write it every day that, okay, I have put on 100 grams more or 200 gram more or 500 gram less or whatever it is. And you analyze why it is and do it. So to self motivate or motivate, we do require a daily basis till you achieve your whatever the goal you have put it across. So losing weight is, maybe I'm just giving my own example. It's not need not to have the resolution part of it, but motivation is very important, and to make sure somebody does it. So that's another point I wanted to tell you. We go for a regular walk, but somehow I thought I'll continue with having a evening yoga. And what happens, some or other time I keep taking, there is a twice in a week, and coincidentally I have a customer call and I miss it. So when I miss it, so the my coach there, she will say that okay, I was waiting for you, and it started becoming a guilty conscience for me that somebody is waiting and I am not able to go. And that guilty conscience is becoming a habit that okay, I better go. And I have now started putting a reminder of 1 hour before, and 1 week before that I will not put the calendar. So this is just to give an example. To make sure, you need to fix your calendar, you need to fix your motivation. What motivates you to make sure that you have financial freedom or you are creating a wealth? How you define the wealth, how you define your financial freedom is different and unique for everybody. So at least I remember last maybe 30-50 years, whenever I used to have a first new year, my mom used to always says that you do something always good, so throughout the year it is good. And that came in my mind so much that okay, you start doing good and good will come back to you. And that's what it is happening, even it is a saving of money or doing a charity or do anything. You do good, you will go, goodness come back to you. So that is a part I am trying to tell on a whatever resolution you take or wherever you start this, any day you start is a good day. So it not need to be 1st January or 15th January or whatever it is. You start, but doing a continuation is very important. Doing and acting on that, making an a habit is very important. It is not a event. I go for 5 days for a gym but I am not able to lose weight, but you are going for a 15 minutes gym for 5 years, of course you will have a good muscles and the weight loss. So, one is the new resolution is not going to change us, but how we take an action and make it a habit is going to make a lot of difference. That is where I am just trying to figure it out, and today trying to say it is very easy to, sorry for the thing part of it, it is 24. Very, very easy to say to make a creative wealth. And I am been telling last so many years, and any of my webinar, I keep saying the differentiator for me is I tell most of the time what I have been doing. I assume when I'm able to make sure my all financial freedom, taking care of all goals. So if I can do it, anybody else can do it. Second thing is I'm trying to give you the live example of our customers, prospects, and others. So let us not reinvent the wheel. We always try to say that, okay, we learn from somebody, the life is too short, and learn and try not to make the same mistakes. That is my intention, as Sanjay was trying to say. Why I love this work, because when you start speaking with the people, you realize it, how you can try to help it. So today I'm going to attend one of the wedding. And that person whom I know, actually, she says that, Rachna, you are the first person whom I told my daughter is getting engaged and married. Because of you, I have able to save the money for her marriage. So that gives the most biggest joy for us. It's not somebody is having 5 crore, 10 crore, 100 crore. Of course, that makes a good customer base and get a good money. But the happiness comes from anyone when they achieve their goals, like a we have achieved their financial or the milestone goals. That's where it makes us happy, and that's where we always love that every one of us are trying to achieve their financial goals. And that's made us our purpose of Right Horizons to have a tagline guiding you to achieving in your goals. So what are the 5 things which makes good wealth building, not only for this year, for throughout the year? So one is setting up the goal. Second is how to manage risk. Third is how to manage the loans and debt. Very, very important part of it. Above all, we need to start. As I was telling, execution is very important. Action is very important. And always think a long term. That's one of the part of it. So this is what our great Abdul Kalam has told. The dream is not what something you see in a sleep. The dream is the things which doesn't allow you to sleep. And that's very well said, because our mind is much powerful. I'm sure all of you must have heard nowadays. The good and bad part is we don't know which is genuine or not genuine, but we get so many of social media things, and which I also believe after reading quite a lot of things, and of course applying on self again, how mind is very powerful. And when we have start thinking of a dream in our mind, we start visualizing that dream. You start saying the slowly it is started coming on it. But how confident you are in your mind is what it is talking about. So first part, as I told you, to create a wealth is a smart. So smart is very, very specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. I am sure all of us, most of us must have seen, heard, felt. But how we are able to do for the financial planning, smart goaling, I have a video. Please let me know if you are able to hear.
You work very hard because you want very best things for you and your family. So, begin setting up smart goals based on what you want, making sure they are specific with clear details, measurable with exact amount, attainable but challenging enough, realistic with necessary skills and knowledge. And it should be time bound so that you start taking action without any delay. Next, you need to know where you stand financially. List down what and how much assets you own. Also list down how much liabilities you have. The difference between these two is your real net worth. It will give you an idea about how far you are from your goals. Third pillar is to know how much you need to save. Normally, people save whatever is left after spending from their income. But the right way of saving is to set aside at least 30% of your income based on your financial goals from your income. And then use what is left for your expenses. And finally, you need to create a budget for your finances. Budget helps you to save more. Also ensure that the payment of personal debt should not exceed 25% of your income at any level. Call us now to build.
So as it says that how it is very important to set a goals, and the minimum part I always try to say we all have been doing, we all have been used to of doing a smaller thing, but for a longer and bigger thing we forget. So I belongs to Bangalore, and when I am having a going, I just coincidentally I just went to the hotel Novartis from Bangalore south to the Sajapur. It was showing around 40 minutes odd. And what I see, first I go to the Google map or any map what you're using and see how long it has to do. So we have to fix the destination. And after fixing the destination, it is saying that you want a straight route, you wanted a different route. It's taking 5 minutes more, the jam is less. But when we are doing a day to day, we are fixing a goal for a travel, which is just a 1 hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours thing. But our journey for our goals is maybe for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, and 30 years, or 50 years, or maybe more than 50 years for retirement. We are not fixing us that goal to make sure how I can achieve that. That is very, very important. So fixing up the goal is important. When I speak with lot many customers and they say, Rachna, I didn't meet you before and I have spent, I didn't have, I got lost my power of compounding, or it is too late to start. And my belief is there is nothing called too early or too late. The day you get up is the morning sunrise. So please start whenever you can. So it may not happen that you get a 1 lakh retirement fund per month. You may get 80,000 or maybe 70,000. But at least you're going to get 70. But thinking of that you didn't do anything and not doing now, you may not get 70 also. So the good point is the best for you all is you are looking at this and you are joining this. So that's the first step has taken of an awareness. Second is your acceptance. Yes, I am doing or not accepting. And the third is started executing. So your awareness has been happening. Now you have to accept what are your goals and start preparing the execution plan. And that's where is the best part of it. So most of the financial goals, we being a social animal, we always believe it in a how to make sure us and our family get all the financial needs taken care of. It can be a basic needs, it can be taken care of. Most of the time, we always says none of us are going to get a pension. So pension or monthly income plan after when we retire, have a good house, make sure kids educations are now very, very costly. Sometimes I was just on the way again today morning when I spoke to the prospect. I told the same. Nowadays, a lot of people started saying that I will focus on child's education than child's marriage as a priority, because child's education, if it is a degree or even in India doing a master's, it will be coming around 20 to 30 lakhs as on today value. And a master's will be around 30 to 40 lakhs if you're going abroad. Of course, if you're going an undergrad abroad, which I have been done for more than 17-20 people, it's coming across 1.5 to 2 crores. So you have to decide how you are planning to take care of those goals. And nowadays, vacation is becoming a very, very part and parcel of a financial goals, because experience is also an investment. But how you make an experience not taking out the kitty of your other priority, that's very, very important part of it. So in financial planning, I always says there are three different main bucket always I believe it in. So to take care of, first is the risk management, very important part. You do second, first, second and third or not, first you have to take care of first part of it. What is the risk management? Mainly I am talking about health cover and term cover. So health cover is one thing which has come to the quite a prominent thanks to the COVID part of it, because previously people used to say no, I have Rachna corporate cover, no worries and all, 3 to 5 lakhs is good enough. But in the COVID time, when multiple people in your family has got admitted, or people have seen that even 10 lakhs was too less. So now, good news is now in a health cover, the top up plans have come, which is very, very reasonable and cheap than taking a bigger cover of a base. So people can take 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs as a base and then top up of 40 lakhs. Nowadays, the health covers are coming for even 1 crore. Before it was not coming. So we have taken in 2010, almost like a 10, 12 years back. That time base cover itself is a 50 lakhs, because that gives a peace of mind. And I still give a credit to one of our customer who made us to do 50 lakhs health cover at that time, because she said the God grace you don't have seen anyone on the critical illness. But when the critical illness comes, the 50 lakhs is also too less. So I always believe now, first is the take apart from your corporate one more cover. Utilize whenever you are in corporate. If you are young, it is good, you are able to get it. Take a base very small, 3 5 lakhs, and utilize that, because no claim bonus will take care of some assured increase. But that is very important, because one of our other customers who is actually quit, and he joined after 1 month. Because of 1 month we didn't know that he got the heart attack, and the stents and everything cost came to 12 lakhs, and then he has to pay from his own. So I'm not saying this things comes, but it's a risk management means we are just taking care of the risk. It's a simple formula, I believe, when I tell everybody. It's like a car insurance or the vehicle insurance. Why we are doing? Because half of the time when I ask people, they says no, no, no. When police will catch hold of me, so I have to pay the fine. That's why it is. But we should. I keep saying the government has to come and made it as a mandatory that everybody should take a term cover or health cover, otherwise you will have the fine. Otherwise the thing is the same. You are paying for a car. I drive I-10, no, sorry, I-20, I think so, and which is around 8.5 lakh car, and you pay around 8 to 9,000 rupees thing. So for a 9 lakhs car, I am paying 9,000 rupees insurance, and I am as a priceless person which cannot be compensated by money, but I am not even paying that 9,000 bucks. So at least we have all should start giving importance to us as a person and a priceless, unique person in the world who loves so many things. People loves you, and that made you to think that we should do at least a term cover for basic thing is, if you have any debt or if something happens to you today, what all money is, how much money is required to make sure your all the family members achieve the goals. Very important part of it. Please try to do it. I have seen many cases. If I start telling the all the stories, it may take much longer than what 1 hour maybe. But I can tell you, very recently again, a person very young, 28 years old, and people, that's another question. People think it's I'm young, what will happen to me, and we are not getting money back. But term cover is as cheaper, or I can say cheaper than the car insurance. Please try to do it. That person died, the parents are dependent, and of course he was not married. So their parents are saying, I don't know how to get the alternative income, even though their requirement is just 20K a month. So sometimes we don't have a solution, and when they come, and I feel very helpless, and that's the only one thing I always try to do webinars or any time when I meet people is to make sure that how we can give an awareness that people are able to take care of this. So please make sure that we are able to do the good term cover and a health cover, which is very, very important part of a financial planning or a wealth creation. Second is contingency planning. Contingency planning is become an important role, especially in a COVID, because we have seen Many businesses were shut down. Many people was not able to do work from home. There are many people who was actually deducted the, I think so, salaries by quite percentage, but their EMIs and other things was too high. Of course, contingency where health was one of the major reason, and people have paid. I have seen in the time people have done the distress sale of their house for the health also. Okay, so that's another thing. But the concept wise, I am trying to tell, whatever is your household income, expense of monthly, let us say you are spending around 50,000 or 60,000 into 6 time. So let us say 6 lakhs, or keep it in FDs or SB accounts for any time. That's a contingency. Goal based is the third level. When we finish risk, then contingency, then we start coming back to the goals. So goals is the what I have already told you, which is more on retirement funds, vehicle, making your house, by purchasing of a car, or it is taking care of kids' marriage, which is the last priority. So importance of health insurance, I will just put it across through the video.
They say health is wealth. Unfortunately, it is true when you fall ill. A study revealed that medical inflation in India is likely to rise at 10%. So by 10 years, the cost of heart surgery would be 2.5 times more than today. Studies conducted in 2016 reveals that approximately 20 lakh people suffer from heart attack every year. 25% of death occurs in the age group of 25 to 29 years. One person is killed due to heart attack every 33 seconds. And above 4 crore Indians suffer from heart disease in India. If you don't have a sufficient amount to pay medical bills in your savings account, which is a better option? Break your long-term investments or sell your home or gold. Borrow money from relatives or friends. Buy a health insurance policy. Your decision to buy sufficient health insurance cover will protect and secure your loved ones today and tomorrow. To buy the best policy suitable to your needs, act now. Insurance is a subject.
So Anil's one of the very close friend has come from US. He settled down there and he's a citizen. So he came to meet his parents, and that's where he was asking us about the health insurance. And it is a very valid point. I'm trying to bring it here. Is he says that I have taken around 5 lakhs odd cover, and when I have gone for a parents claim, it came quite less. So I said most of the time people sometimes don't see because maybe what is the upper limit for a room? What is the upper limit for an ICU? What are the number of doctors are allowed? The things are very clearly mentioned. So I was keep teasing people, and I said nowadays the hospitals are costlier than the, I can say, the five-star hotel, because nowadays five-star hotels room was also around 10,000. But if I go to the good hospital, my private room is more than 10,000 bucks. So which is true. But when we see the things, it will say that okay, as per 5 lakhs, you can take only 5,000 rupees a room. But if you have taken a private room, for example, they will approve only 5,000 bucks. So whenever you are going for an health cover, just don't see only the premium and the sum assured. Try to see at least three minimum things I always tell people. One is to make sure what is pre-existing is allowed, not allowed, or when that will be allowed. Second thing is what is a room charge, because that's a basic thing when you are going for any hospital. You will take the room as a single room or a double person room, or you will take a private room or whatever. Third is that what is the ICU per day it is allowed. Okay, so those are the three things I wanted to give in case if you are doing. Even if you have it, please look at across. In case if sometimes you wanted to use, you know that what to take it across. This is the two, three Warren Buffett's quotes are all time favorite of mine, and I love this. When I was working in Wipro and Infosys, this is my boss' favorite dialogue also. So I don't know, any of you, if you are in IT industry, I worked in IT industry. I'm actually a more techie person. I've done MCA, and then of course I moved here on a finance side. So we used to make a proposal, and we will say that it is TNM or a fixed bid. So TNM is the time and money, and a fixed bid. So we will say, okay, which is coming OMAT, or what is a profit after tax kind of it. We used to make proposal. And to make a very competitive, we will say, okay, we will have a reduce the time by keeping more people. So my boss used to always says that the same, that you can't produce a baby in 1 month if you are getting a 9 woman pregnant. So you have to wait. You should have a discipline and the patience. The time takes, it's the same thing. You can't make in a 1 month. So that's a one big things which I have learned, of course, in my work, and thanks to my parents and upbringing. I'm a ex-army person's daughter, so that's from a small only you get drilled on the discipline and the time. That's where I feel that's my trump card also, that I always do it. So to give you benefit, the people who are in this session, I'm the person who writes my calendar every day, and I spend morning 15 minutes and the evening 15 minutes on a calendar. I have a Google task which I have a multiple buckets, like a for work, which is for a home, or for my accounts work or my customer works. I will write separate buckets. So when the calendar is little free, I go there and see which is like a I should do it within a weeks depending on my free time. Then I have my goals, which is for 3 and 5 years, which I do it through work sculpting. That is always open in my laptop. So at any moment, if somebody come and meet me, will know what I am doing for a day, what I'm doing for a week, and what I'm going to do for the next 3 to 5 years. So sometimes that's thanks to discipline, and I am saying it's not a resolution or something, but that made your productivity very, very high, because you know that what you have to do and what you have not done, so how you will take care of that. And that's the best part of a discipline, not only for a financial planning, but on your office work or a home or whatever it is. So I'll just have the, as I said, the discipline and the patience space. So this is the power of compounding.
If you want to go around the earth and start with 100 meters on the first day and double the distance every day, how long do you think it will take? 1 year? 10 years? Let's find out. Within 19 days, you would have covered 39,321 kilometers, while the equatorial circumference of Earth is about 40,075 kilometers. You would have traveled around the world in less than 20 days. But what if you stop after 10 days? You would have hardly covered a little less than 77 kilometers. This is the power of compounding. Power of compounding can help you to create a great wealth as well. How to leverage the power of compounding for maximum benefit? Start early and invest regularly. Nisha invests rupees 5,000 every month since the age of 25, while Nilesh invests rupees 7,000 every month since the age of 35. By the age of 60, both would have invested 21 lakh rupees. Assuming a return of 12%, Nisha will accumulate 2.75 crore rupees, while Nilesh will get only 1.19 crore rupees, which is 59% lesser than Nisha's wealth. This is why starting early is important. To create a wealth, start an SIP in equity mutual fund, and remember to avail the power of compounding, staying invested for long term.
So this is what is a very, very important. The good part is that people have started understanding mutual fund and doing an SIP. But I just wanted to keep reminding people, most of the time the noise is coming so much of from negative. People just become reactive and take it off. So our work, I always say, is to make sure people to understand only two things: what is fear, how not to go into fear, and not to become greedy. There are, you can have hundreds or thousands or maybe people who has become greedy, they lost even the principle. So not to become greedy, the you have to realize very clearly what is an expected returns I can do it. The expected returns you can do it if it is a lower risk, you can give around 6 to 7%. If it is in a higher risk, on a long term you can expect around 14 to 15% returns, and that's a very very good nominal things. People have got it quite a lot of money, including in our own product. I have seen last 3 years to 5 years we have 34 to 54% returns, which is XIRR post expenses. But when you look at it a long run, it will become the same. So you don't have to start looking, okay, I'm looking a 5 star which is giving a best returns. And there is another research, and I do a one more things where perception fails. So people used to go for taking care of the last few 1 year, especially 1 and 3 years, and then they do. And you will surprised to know that the top whatever 1 year or 3 years, next 3 years they will be in the bottom 20 most of the time. So don't go only for the returns. Look for a long term. You are very clear when you go for any, from here you are trying to say that okay, I am going to Delhi. You take a train or a flight tickets till Delhi. Even the flight is going further, you don't go and travel. You get down. Same thing. If you have the goal that I have to make sure around 12 to 14% return, and which is taking care of my financial goals, be happy. You don't have to see that what is right or left or anything else. The same thing he is telling in the second very famous quote is, someone is sitting in the shade today because someone else has planted the tree long time back. And money tree, I always believe it's a same way. You have to nourish, you have to keep giving an SIPs like that every month. And when it grows, it will start giving you the money back with the compounding effect. So you can't say that, okay, okay, I have put it today money and by 1 year I should be able to get the double or triple money. So I'll just show you the Excel. I'll just open the Excel. So this is the screen where I'm trying to say that a very common thing is people will delay. So sometimes they'll make a plan and they will not start, and the delay cost is much much more higher than anything else. So I'm just giving example like I wanted to invest 10,000 for the period of 10 years. And on an equity, I normally take 12 to 14% return. So let us take a 12% returns, and they delay in 5 years. So maturity value of SIP which started today is 23 lakhs. But because it got delayed, it is just an 8 lakhs. So you can see the delay cost is almost 14.83 lakhs. So that is the one powerful point I'm trying to say, that most of us make it that as a, I can say, low priority or a back burner, but the cost of a delay is very, very high. So I'm just going to keep it a few tables, which I will send it across this. It's a very easy. You can have your own calculator. Nowadays, there are so many mobile app. You can do it or this calculator. Just like if I wanted to do 10,000 for 20 years with 14%, I'm getting around 1.3 crores. So how much times you are going to get? So you actually paid only 24 lakhs and you got a 5.4 times the total value. This is the another way which says that if I do 10,000 for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 25, 30 years, and my return is 10 or 15%, how much I'm going to get. So if you see, if you are doing a 10,000 rupees SIP and 25 years, you are going to get 3.24 crores. This is the another one where we are trying to say to take care of inflation part of it. And this is the need here. This is what yesterday somebody asked. I better do it this way. So, Rachna, if I wanted a 1 crore in 10 years, how much money I should invest? And that is the best way to take it. First, you fix the goal if you want, and then go backwards. And that's another way people are being putting across. So, I'm just trying to say this is where you will show and see yourself the power of compounding. Can you see my presentation back?
Yes.
This is very apt for it. Market has gone very high in last 1 quarter, and that's people have been asking what we should do. We are trying to do a book profit for all our customers in PMS. We are holding a cash also. But is it? It's a very common question people ask, that market is all time high. I should invest or not? And that's when we speak with others. So when I was speaking with the fund manager on Rego, who is a CIO or CEO and founder of Right Horizon also, and he says that we don't look the what is the all time high or not all time high. They normally look what is the valuation of the things, and you will surprised to know that the valuation of the market is between 22 to 22 23, which is much lower. It's a similar as 2008. So the valuation is the same. So they look the how the valuation of the market goes, and this is the where we wanted to teach whenever the market is down how to take care of it, because roller coaster ride is always there. When we something goes up, by nature it should come down, and when you go down your averaging comes better. This is another example I can tell you. When the COVID came in the March, that time we dropped March and very high, and most of the customer who are with us, the good thing is about Right Horizon is we have more than 95% of customer continuing with us from the day one. And I always say the last 5 years is the only customer I have to teach, because all the older customer, as soon as the market goes down, they'll say, okay, I have money, you put it across, because they have seen the cycle of down and up. So in the new customer, few of them, they said, no, Rachna, we never knew about COVID, whatever said and done, we will park it in a SB account and all, irrespective of how much you can try to explain. Because I can tell you the history repeats. Normally, these markets are, you can change the name, but it always have the past data. So market cycles are always 8 to 9 years. You say 92 is a Harshad Mehta scam, and 2000 was a dot-com bust. 2008 was a Lehman Brothers financial crisis, and 2019 onwards, always you start seeing that across the COVID. So the names changes, but the market cycles always 4 or 5 years up and down. It keeps coming. So the people actually that year we saw the fastest recovery. Actually by March 2020 was down, and December we were quite high, it's around 90% up. So I'm just trying to say, sometimes don't take emotional calls, because you need that money for a longer term, for the kids' education, for your thing. So whenever is the market is low, you just try to keep investing how much you can on the that time.
Investing in equity market is just like riding a roller coaster. In roller coaster, after going through so many scary ups and downs, we finally get the amazing experience of fun, joy and happiness. During these speedy ups and downs, we might get scared, but we did not jump out of it even though we feel the fear. Being seated is the safest option till the time we end up with our ride. Similarly, we can create a great wealth from the equity market only after passing through lots of ups and downs. Equity markets can correct due to many reasons, and feeling of fear is natural during such market corrections. In spite of fear, it is always advisable to stay invested for a long term. During 2003 to 2007, Sensex faced many corrections before it went up from 3,390 from 1st January 2003 to 20,286 on 31st December 2007. During such corrections, whoever does not let the fear overpower the logic of long-term investing can create a great amount of wealth. Invest your hard-earned money in equity market through mutual funds for long term with the help of proper advice from finance.
So this is the another things which we have seen. Most of us people normally get the salary, pay EMI, spend and all, and leftover they invest. But the best part of your way of investing and creating a wealth for this year, for future, for lifelong, is always whatever you get in hand money, make sure at least 20 to 25% first you invest and then spend. And this is the one of my dad's golden rule. I have always believed that from the first salary till date, I have been spending 25% and above. And I can tell you, for my financial freedom is that I'm not a spendthrift, but whenever if I want to spend something, I don't have to ever think that okay, I have money or not, but I'll be able to buy. So that comfort comes in your mind, that when you have the very disciplined investments for maybe more, almost going to be 30 years, how to take care 25% of my savings irrespective. Don't do in a numbers, because when we are earning less, 10,000 may be very high, but when you started earning more, but 10,000 you continue, it is too less. So percentage of the saving and investment is always good. Try to do that. It's a very big part of it. Now my, of course, my daughter is 22 and son is 16. The same habit I have asked them also. I do write every day my budget, whatever I spend. Good thing is, for all of you who are tech savvy, you have so many apps to write it across, and which says that how you can save even expenditures. So I remember maybe 2 to 3.5 years back, when she was in India and doing a graduation, she came back to me and she told me, Mama, I am been spending so much money in my taxi, so I think so I should reduce. And that made her to think, okay, I should go for share taxi. Then she still said, my share taxis are giving a little more. And of course, these are very intelligent thanks to Google Map also. Then they started saying, okay, let me take a public transport, which is the closest, and then take an auto. So I'm trying to say these apps also give you where you're spending the high and how you can try to budget. But you should always write, because when you start writing, you're realizing where you're spending more and how you can take care of it. And make sure your investments are always done before the expenditures. This is the new year resolution for peace of mind. Normally people do it. I wanted to conclude with this, with the summary. Identify the financial goal, which is short, long, and medium term. Make sure you invest minimum 20% of your take home. Define your risk, and without fail have a good medical and the life cover apart from the corporate. Reduce and analyze debt loans, because that's another things people have been doing. And start now. There's nothing is called late, but start now. With this, I stop and I'll be happy to take any question and answers.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for sharing valuable insights. We already have two, three questions in the Q&A
Yeah,
section.
so I'm just reading now. It says, question, if the asset allocation indeed is a key, then why mostly only equity funds are being suggested and promoted? So debt and things. So it is asset allocations are being taken care, because most of the time people don't realize it. Your PF and PPF is almost 12 to 14%. When you take the overall, you have a real estate, which again comes under debt. So when you start taking overall level, you will realize that you are much, much lower than this. So anybody I have seen till date, when I take care of the real estate, I take care of the PF, PPF, NPS, FDs. Their proportion will go to 60% and 40% on equity. So I always says that I'm not talking about only the liquidity part of it. Net worth is overall level. So you should, when you're working, you should be able to take care of your equity, because that is going to give an exponential. But I have a customer who has a 90% of the debt, because their needs are much lesser than what he is having. And he always tell, even I tell that you don't need even FD, because in SB account that 3% is good enough. So you have to realize sometimes more than asset allocation, how you are able to bridge the gap to achieve the goals. If somebody's goals are much lower and she's having a good portfolio, you don't need an equity funds. So most of the time, I normally says this is one to one. Everybody's needs are different and our financial goals are different. Asset allocations, I am trying to focus more on a wealth creation. Wealth creation is a simple fundamental, talks about post tax, post inflation should be greater than zero. So most of the debt funds will be not even clearing this eligibility. That's the first part of it. And second is debt fund is fully taxed. How individually slab can be. So that depends on how you are able to take care of a debt categories. Like a somebody takes a bond, so I told them, why don't you take a mutual fund which invest in a bonds, because that will become a capital gain versus having a things like this. So depending on each one, Madhusudan, if you want, we can have one is to one call and do that, because that is very specific to it. I'll be happy if any other questions we have, Sanjay. I can see only two
Ma'am,
questions.
we have few questions in the chat box.
Okay. So let me read one by one there also. I don't know who is this, but yes, I do a lot of sessions for the women. No doubt that's my focus area as such. And asset allocation, I have already answered. Experts also says that prudent advisor is zero real estate returns. I'm not sure, Madhusudan, of your question. You can give it to me. I will take it. Do you recommend any computation retirement funds to retire approximately annual expenses, Smita? But I am not sure. If you can just tell me, I will be happy to do now or later. It's a very simple formula. Whenever you are taking care of your retirement funds, you have two ways. One is to create a retirement corpus, and when you retire, how to take care of a payout. When you are taking a payout, most of the people don't take care of an inflation. So make sure you are getting inflation linked money on an annual expense. These are ballpark figure. I normally don't do work on a ballpark figure. I always take the actual numbers and then do. It is 25 times or 30 times. I don't believe it in those things. So we'll be happy if you have anything. But most of the time it's like a, I'm just giving example for me. Let me see if I have the Excel. I will show you on spot. So it's a person, it's a live example again here. It is a person whose current age is 57 and retirement age is this. We have taken life expectancy at 85, inflation at 6. This is real rate of returns where it's a formula called when you start paying out, we normally go to the moderate where 50% of debt and 50% on equity. So when you have that moderate risk of it will be coming at 8%. So if you see here 8% minus your 6% inflation plus 1 plus 6%, which is the real rate of returns formula. But in your mind, it's easier way to think about I am getting 8% and giving 6%. So indirectly 2% is my real rate of return. The person's required around 1.5 lakhs a month. So when he will retire, that future value of 1.5 lakhs will become 1 point, let us say 8 lakhs. So he, most of the customers normally they will get your PF, PPF, retirement funds and everything. They give a full lump sum to us, and then we pay them regularly till their age of 85. So they said he is having around 4 crores to give it across. Debt and equity is 50-50. Expected returns is 8% as I told. But the corpus is required around 4.27 crores. So I'll just take you through this formula. This is the real rate of return by 12 because it is monthly. So if you see here, B10 is a real rate of return 1.88 divided by 12. This is B8 and B7 is 85 minus 60 into 12 because he wants to retire at 60 and every month he wants the money which is equivalent to 1.5 lakhs of today and 1.78 lakhs. So he required 4.27 crores. So if the person had 4.27 crores at his age of 60, he will be getting 1.78 lakhs monthly, which is inflation linked yearly. So that is what most of the time we go into precise way instead of saying you require 25 times or 30 times of your salary or something like that. Yes, the real rate of return is normally depending on what returns you are expecting. So I was expecting an 8 and 6 is my inflation. So to 1.88%, approximately 2 is my real rate of returns. So thanks for joining, and I'm assuming this new year you will act whatever you do and you all create a wealth and have a peace of mind. Thank you.